All right, what's going on? It's Bobby Skinner talking Giants here with the Week 8 film review. The Giants lose to the Seahawks, so gonna look at a lot. This is gonna be a lot of focus on the offense, on things that one the Seahawks did well, but also things that the Giants screwed up in this. And I thought Daniel Jones. It was hard to tell through the broadcast angle, but the margin of error is so thin, is so small for this Giants offense that this is a game where you can't be impressed with Daniel Jones because there were opportunities left on the field. Like their two biggest opportunities for big plays were left on the field by Daniel Jones. Was it some like horrendous train wreck game from Daniel Jones? No, but with the Giants' current situation, you just can't leave those plays on the field. So we'll go through it. But also the Seahawks defense was just totally prepared for what the Giants offense does well. And we'll go through that where it's like this isn't, the Daniel Jones fault or even the wide receiver's fault or even the offensive line's fault. Like you're looking at that right there. We'll talk about it. So let's get into it. Make sure to like and subscribe, all that good stuff. And let's break it down. Let's go at the Giants Week 8 film review. 6-2 at the bye. All right, first play on the defense. Great game I thought the defense had one of its better games. It was their second best game as far as yard wise, which is like only a few yards off of the Panthers game. One of their best run games, and then it was even like Geno Smith played well, but they only allowed 5.1 yards per pass. Richie James kind of put them in bad. Richie James and the offense put them in bad situations. But first play, how did they stop the run? Here we even got a light box. Like we have two safeties, so we don't have every gap accounted for. But what the Giants did well is they ran some good run blitzes, and they just honestly played the run well. There's not too much misdirection with what Seattle does, which is what the Giants struggle with. And this is an example of it right here. Also, I think Kenneth Walker likes to bounce. Not on this play, but just a good run blitz. So you see Jahad Ward's playing outside of the tackle, and then you have Tay Crowder. You would assume he's playing this gap. Run blitz. Jahad Ward jumps in the gap. Tay Crowder replaces him. And so since they're not ready for this, like he's thinking he's working the Tay Crowder, bam. So we've busted that up. So now we've occupied these two blockers, and they're not even like you can't run through that gap. Hello, Siren. You can't get outside. Tay Crowder's there. Good to see you too, Siren. And jumps back in here, and then you got Dexter. Like it allows Dexter Lawrence to be the best version of himself, and then you have Jalen Smith there. So they just did a good job bottling up the run all game until the last play that we're going to break down on this film review. Now on the offense, something the Giants have gotten a lot of yards out of, chunk plays out of, is this under center play action. Whether it's bootlegs or just simple two tight ends under center, we're running two-man routes and the tight ends are in block and releases. This is that. Well, there's not a ton of route combinations, but this is the main one the Giants like to run out of this. And they run this post over, which is like that Yankee concept, even though they turned this into a post corner. And just Seahawks did a good job of getting their guys to play with depth. Like, this is underneath. Like, you're not going to throw this to Darius Slayton because, this player doesn't get too sucked up in the run action, doesn't flow too far outside, and we're there. And we'll talk about how their D lineman just beats Mark Lewinsky. And then on the post corner, like, he plays off. He funnels this all to the safety. And he also, like, you can't even if this linebacker is not here and you don't have this pressure, you can't really pull the trigger on this because this guy is playing like you don't know if he's going to chase Marcus Johnson into this zone right here or if he's going to sit on this over route by Darius Slayton. So they just did a good job of covering this type of stuff up. And you see we try and get to this block and release. Not able to get it. Glowinski just gets worked. We'll see it from the other angle. So, I mean, that busts the play up regardless, but you're not able to complete. Now, this is the first third down of the game. So, the Giants are running a mesh concept, which is one of their favorite third down concepts. And the ball gets completed. And what is mesh is where you have these two drag routes. And then, for the most part, there's different ways you can run it, and we'll show different ways they ran it. And then you have Tanner, the tight end, on the sit route, and then Saquon Barkley on this rail route right here. So the first read is supposed to be the rail route, but you're not staying on it long. It's very, like, you almost never throw it. So what DJ is reading is this player right here. This player is going to make the read on this because you're not going to throw this to Wandale with this guy coming down. So he's reading this player. If this player sits here with this sit route, he's going to throw it to Marcus Johnson. If he chases, he's going to throw this sit route. But DJ's got to hold the ball for a quarter or more second on this. Just a quarter, and he has pressure in his face, and that busts it up. You just need a quarter more a second because this player is in conflict. Force him to go. And I know this is splitting hairs. And I know you got this pressure in your face, and we'll see, and it does affect. But in a perfect world, we're holding on to this ball for a quarter of a second because he was going to come down on this. You know, it's easy for me to say on this, but you got this guy playing like he's going to come play the sit route. And if he even hesitated for a second, then you could throw the drag and Marcus Johnson. But you had this player down here ready for it too. Like they were ready for some of the Giants' bread and butter stuff, and this is a bread and butter third down play for the Giants. We'll see it from this angle. Feliciano gets this pressure up the middle. So, not the easiest. So, it's splitting hairs, but in an ideal world, we're waiting a quarter of a second on that. Or just throwing the sit route on it. All right, what's another thing the Giants like to run? Naked boot. This is the play they ran 8 times to finish the Jaguars game. They ran it a ton versus the Bears. You put Chris Myrick in motion before the snap. You show power. Now, they didn't pull the guard on this, which I thought was interesting. And you do the block and release with Marcus Johnson. And this has either been open or Daniel Jones has been able to run for green grass because they're flowing to stop Saquon Barkley, not the Seahawks. They did a great job covering this up. We're there. And this is covered as well. So Bruce Irvin does a great job not chasing this flat off of Andrew Thomas's hip, but simply like being ready for this. That's total game plan stuff there for the Seahawks and Bruce Irvin. We'll see it from this angle. Like other teams had this guy crashing down off the hip of Andrew Thomas. And, I mean, the play's dead. Great job by DJ making a miss. You know, salvaging the play. But still no bueno. Back on defense. What do we have here? This could have been this is a 3rd and 1, so you get a stop. This could have been a Dane Belton interception. So you're in your dime package with Belton and Landon Collins as the linebackers, and they run these condensed splits 2x2. The Seahawks do. So just a lot of space on this, trying to create this. Seahawks did some good stuff knowing the fact that they're going to face a lot of man coverage. So I actually like this play by the Seahawks. Like, they show a rub route. You do this, just a lot of like almost double and triple moves by the Seahawks. Like we're showing vertical. We're showing, okay, we're going to get to this little rub route. You get a door to jump back in and in. But with all of that, it gives Dane Belton all the time in the world to read, like, okay, they're trying to get something over here. There's no middle of the field threat because Landon Collins is falling the back. So you're just this robber underneath. And almost gets it. We'll see it from the other angle. But Jihad Ward, you know, you're running 3 edges. Jihad Ward gets doubled. He's not going to win versus one-on-ones anyways in pass rush for the most part. So he drops back out. Like, smart play by Jihad Ward, by the way. Very smart play by Jihad Ward. But this could have been a Dane Belton interception. It also could have not been. Like, this could have been a completion. But we're going to live with this what could have been type thing. And I hate the people who say, like, oh, that would have been 6. Like, everybody says, oh, that would have been 6. But that actually would have been 6. But nonetheless, good play by Jihad Ward. Can't be mad at that. Next play on the defense. Or no, sorry, we're on offense. What are we running here? This is Daniel Jones miss. So let's kind of play this out. This looks like that mesh concept that the Giants run, right? Kind of trying to suck up all this area. Something they must have saw on film is these outside linebackers will turn into man coverage from these 5-man fronts. They did it a couple other plays in this game. So from these 5-man fronts, they'll put their outside linebackers in man coverage, whether it's on the running back or the tight end, and then kind of play zone in the middle of the field. And Lawrence Cager, you may not be familiar with him, but he's a converted wide receiver out of Georgia. Was with the Jets. He even started the first game for the Jets, but I think he had drops. He's got some speed. He runs this wheel route. He's open. Like 30 is in chase. Like he's in man with all these underneath players. I mean, he's wide open. And DJ just misses. I mean, that gets the ball to the 50. That's the difference between 3 points. Like there's a lot. There's a good chance you get 3 points on this drive if you complete this. He turns his feet, everything, like good footwork. Just misses. Now Zudu does get worked and DJ gets lit up on this, but it doesn't really affect the throw. He gets lit up on this, but you just have to make that throw. And again, he's wide open. It's got to make that. Like that's a huge play. That's a huge play. That could be 3 points right there. All right, next play. We are back on defense. The Micah McFadden sack. Enough with these damn sirens. Running cover one. Man coverage. Love plays the underneath on this. So because Julian Love plays the underneath on this, which you really don't ever see on cover one on these play action plays, Geno could have had Metcalf. But Micah McFadden, great job. I thought he played pretty damn well for all things considered. Lined up on the edge. He was a good pass rusher in Indiana. Like some linebackers, they get like touted as pass rushers because they have good sack numbers. Micah McFadden was actually a pretty good pass rusher. Like this is a pass rush move right here against Charles Cross, who Kayvon couldn't get any success versus. Goes that little two-handed swipe, rip. Got a little bend around that edge. Nick McLeod on this corner on this nickel blitz. This is a good pass rush move. And it takes a big play off the board. Like Geno's pulling the trigger on this if Micah McFadden's not getting this sack. He's probably going to get hit by Jalen Smith, but that's good stuff by Micah McFadden. And the next play is a run play where I thought Micah McFadden did pretty well too. Titans and 3 tight ends motion. Get that surge motion from 84. I think Timon Fox does a good job on this. Like one, taking this block on. Gets moved a little bit, but good job using his hands, disengaging on this. He's able to wrap up. Let's watch Micah McFadden. Reading his keys. Reading the guard, not reading the running back. Running back is showing like he's going up the gut. Well, guess what? The guard's pulling. Read your guards. I'm telling you. This guy doesn't do a great job of that. Number 48, Tate Crowder, doesn't do a great job of that. Micah McFadden does. So he gets over to that gap. He takes on the guard. That's what you want. Takes on a blow. He's a smaller guy. I think that's going to be his biggest issue in the NFL is taking on these blocks. But he's able to throw it off of him. Keeps his hips square. Gets in on a tackle. Good job by Leonard Williams coming over on this. Dexter Lawrence. While Jalen Smith's getting packed out here, like that's a really good run fit by Micah McFadden. Next play. 4th down. This play is so frustrating. I mean, this is just good coaching by the Seahawks offense. I mean, this totally... Look at all this, and I'm like, you say, you got to be ready for this type of stuff. They just totally threw them for a loop by putting Tyler Lockett in the backfield. And the Giants will like to throw those exotic looks and run man coverage on fourth down. Like, that's what you're going to get out of them. You're going to get a cover zero look and man coverage. So that they put Kenneth Walker out here, so you get Micah McFadden on man coverage and Kenneth Walker. You got McKinney and McKinney and Love are kind of doing this banjo coverage where if he goes out, McKinney's going to cover him, the tight end. If he runs like a drag or something, Julian Love covers him. And then so I guess you got like Darnay on Tyler Lockett, but usually if the running back was just in the backfield, it'd be like a type of switch coverage, kind of like I was talking about with this, where if he goes one way, Jalen Smith would take him, goes the other way, Micah McFadden takes him, and then the other player blitzes. But you put him in the backfield, you put a wide receiver in the backfield, you don't know who to do that switch coverage with, that banjo coverage, and he just comes across the field. You got Jalen Smith as the free rusher. They're running, they are running cover zero. Julian Love doesn't know what's going on. Like, he's not covering the tight end. Like McKinney's blitzing because, the tight end is going across the formation. Love's not covering him. I mean, that's just tough. Like, that's good game. It's hard to be mad at the Giants for that. Like, that's just great game planning. That's a great fourth down play call by the Seahawks. Like, I can't be mad at the Giants for not stopping that. That's awesome coaching by Shane Waldron and the Seahawks. Back on offense. Going to go through what do we have on here. Just want to give you an idea of how the crowd can give the Seahawks an advantage. Watch Nwosu time up this run blitz. Just times up that run blitz versus Chris Myrick. Like, he's moving before all these guys are. Gets inside. Lawrence Cager doesn't know what's going on. Chris Myrick's not able to make this block. Feliciano doesn't do a great job. And you get a bad run play on 1st and 10. Now, the Giants' only touchdown of the day. You get a fumble by Adoree Jackson. Get Nick Gates in the field. I wish the Giants could have won because I want to celebrate Nick Gates being back even more. But you put that jumbo tight end in, and you put another jumbo tight end, Jack Anderson, who was acclaimed from the Eagles on cutdown day, or day after cutdown day. You pick Chris Myrick in this motion. Just run power. Glowinski's the kick out, or the lead. And Nick Gates, down block. Bam, move him. Look at Thomas Givazudu this help. Bam. Throw that dude. Now we'll pick up the linebacker. Watch Thomas pick up the linebacker. Bam, we're here. Jack Anderson meeting him there. Even though he should be picking up this linebacker. And a touchdown. Thomas is hyped. He knows he made that happen. Nick Gates is losing his mind. DJ's happy for the cat. And the Giants are on the board. Back on defense. We got a 3rd and 10. This is the McKinney sack. It's a shame this got wasted because Richie James can't hold on to a football. This is a good third down call. Like, you've given them a cover zero look. And I'm surprised Geno didn't see this because having Adoree Jackson stacked on McKinney manned up should have given this away a little bit. Geno doesn't notice it. But you have a zero look. Like, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blockers. Maybe he did know. But Giants, obviously, when they run these cover zeros, they're very rarely are they actually just running cover zero, where you blitz everybody and you just put man coverage. Well, that's exactly what's going on here. You're going to drop out Jihad Ward and Timon Fox. They're going to play deep under. You got Darnay bailing out. Julian Love slamming down. And you got a sack before Geno's ever even able, like maybe he could pull the trigger here, but he doesn't know what's going on. Like, he doesn't know what this look is. Just a great job. Like, look how they got 6 for 6, so they're gonna set 6 for 6. So he's setting to Fox. The guard's gonna set for Landon. Or sorry, the running back. The running back is setting for Landon. The guard setting for Jihad, and then we got 1, 2, 3 right here. Well, you want to make sure that the guys that you're sending the blitz are occupied. Occupied. Travis Homer again is going to come across the line of scrimmage to block Landon Collins. That's standard. Well, guess what? You drop these guys back. Now you have 3 guys trying to block one, and that leaves McKinney unblocked, and he just nails Geno Smith. That's I love that type of stuff from Wink Martindale. Next play. What do we have? 3rd and 2. We are back on offense. 3rd and 2. This is the end of the half. And this is just the biggest F up by the Giants offense all year. Watch. We've got Feliciano and Thomas blocking screen. We've got Azudu pulling to the right side of the formation, even though Saquon's on the right side of the formation too, so that wouldn't make sense. And then you have the receivers running mesh. And you have Daniel Jones clueless as to what's going on. Major miscommunication. I don't know what the key was on this, but I promise you that there was some type of like 1 or 2 where it's like, if we get this type of look, we're going to go and we'll see. Let's go back to the other angle. If we get this type of look, some certain look, we're going to go to like a quick screen where you're going to bring Tanner Hudson out here, Thomas here, and Feliciano here, and then throw the ball to Slayton. Try and get those 2 yards. But I don't know why the offensive lineman would think that, because they don't have anybody lined up to blitz. Like, you would do that if they lined up all these guys up in the A gap. But they don't do that. None of the DJ didn't tell them to do that. That's for sure, because he's not going to tell them to do that and then do this. So I lean to blame the offensive line on this, because the receivers don't do it. I don't know what Azudu's doing. I blame the offensive line on that. That's a major screw up, and it's probably on Feliciano. But I mean, I don't know. I would love to get an answer on that. I have no clue, like, how that ended up happening. Like, what was the key for them? Like, nothing pre-snap shows that that should be like an automatic audible to it. There's nothing. So I don't know what happened on that, but that's frustrating. Back on offense, just going to show how we need missing Daniel Bellinger hurts. Put Tanner Hudson in this motion, not a good blocker. Well, he whiffs on this. Where, in reality, all you need to do is just get to the inside shoulder of him. He whiffs on this. Saquon could still salvage this run. But Feliciano, if you watch the O-line report, just gets tossed. And you got another negative run. The runs like that were why Saquon had his worst rushing day of the season by far. 2.7 yards per carry. Like, there was maybe a couple plays where it's like, maybe he shouldn't have bounced this, but those plays were dead anyways. Maybe he gets a yard or 2 out of them. Like, that's bad blocking up front. What do we have next? We've got a string of offensive stuff. 3rd and 12. Giants have actually had success running these deep curls on 3rd down and long. When they have these 2 high coverages, Slayton's speed makes that possible. Marcus Johnson, I'm not going to get, but like Marcus Johnson does have some speed, and obviously Wandale too. You can't run this without guys that have speed, because you have to have some type of vertical threat on this. And Slayton does a good job by just giving that little subtle, like, we're going to work vertical on this. Planting, catch, great timing by DJ. I mean, when Slayton turns around, the ball is 4 yards away from his face. So good concentration by Slayton on this. It's a good throw. And they got this another play in the game, and we're going to see them build off of this later in the game. But if they're going to play that off coverage on those third and longs, like, take it. Clean pocket. Gets a step in it, fire it. Conversion. 3rd and 12. We got 3rd and 12. Now we're at the 50. All right, this drive ended up in a field goal. I want to talk about this play more so than just like, oh, look at what happened. So they put Lawrence Cager in motion, and they're trying to get. This is almost like a trick play. Like, you're trying to fake a screen to Saquon. Like, you see how he's showing like he's gonna block. You're trying to fake a screen to Saquon to get this safety to crash down on this, and then Tariq Woolen to crash down too, and then leave Lawrence Cager wide open for a touchdown. Love the play design. Seahawks are a very well-coached defense, and they're all over it. Now, that being said, like, I think you could still throw this ball to Saquon, even though it's not designed there. So DJ ends up scrambling on this, and you're going to see they run a drive concept on the backside, which is a drag, and then a basic indie route. Or not an indie, a basic route, an in route. And Tanner Hudson's open. Like, Tanner Hudson's open for 6. But I do want to talk about it. Maybe someone who knows, like, quarterbacking a little better. This play is very much, I think, like a boomer bust. Like, they were banking on this happening. So, and you see, like, it's not there. So it's not there. DJ immediately, like, looks for a running lane, goes. Gets some yards out of it. Or gets a few yards out of it. But you say, well, he's got to go through his progression. That guy's wide open. You got to throw it. And I did that earlier. I'm going to get on him big time towards the end of this film review where there's a play like this. This one I'm not so sure because this is so boom or bust and he's so quick to run on this, which he has not been since week 2. This very much could have been coached up like, if it's not there, run. Don't waste time, just go. Because he's quick to run. And it's not, and again, he's not going through like a progression. Like, because this is the progression. Like, he's not blind. And like, you can even, like, if you really want to, maybe like fire this ball into Sills. Like, I really think that was coached. Like, we'll see it from this angle. Like, this is very much like, this is supposed to work. It doesn't. And again, like, it's right in his eyesight. I really think he's been coached up to just run. And maybe you can be mad at Daniel Jones for not having to improvise on that and just seeing it and throwing it. I get that. You can make the argument that some QBs make the throw, but that just seemed like a coaching thing. So I'm not going to hammer him for that. But if someone who actually like has ran that play or knows that play would like to tell me, I would love to hear your opinion on it. Now, this is another example of the Seahawks just being ready for what the Giants have shown on these third downs. This is a 3rd and 7. So Giants run actually a form of levels, but like a double move levels, where levels is a pure progression play where it's a 1, 2, 3. So the first one it's supposed to be an out, but instead of just a regular out, they have Tanner Hudson run this whip route where you show in and then pop out. And then you put Marcus Johnson on the in route, trying to occupy this, and then Wan'Dale Robinson on the in route. Now, they instead of just running a regular in route with Wan'Dale, and they put this on film. They did this versus the Packers, converted a 3rd and long running this exact same play versus the Packers. He runs this return route where you show outside, get back in. You're banking on occupying these two players and having some open space on this. First of all, good discipline by these cats, because I don't think he catches this with space. I don't know if he's going to get there. It's going to be close. Maybe they go for it on. Maybe it's a go for it on 4th down situation for the Giants. But I think Wan'Dale doesn't do a great job running this. Like, he just doesn't sell the out as much as he could. Like, Woolen really never is worried about that threat, and then As soon as he backs in, I mean, Woolen's fast. He closes in on this, breaks the play up. So I think Wandale just got to give better route sell on that. But also, like, the Seahawks, like, having good film, you know, and what to do in these third down situations, the money down. So that was there. All right, here is the play where I'm going to get on DJ. But before that, I'm going to read an ad. We got ads on this. And this film review is brought to you by Ridge Wallet. I love Ridge Wallet. It's the best. I think it's nice and slim. Like with the guy we were talking about, Wandale Robinson, it's very small. I think it's tough. It's as tough as Daniel Jones. It's just a resilient wallet, and it holds up to 12 cards plus room for cash. And if you're like me, I like to keep cash on me. Like I'm a cash type of guy. There's over 30 colors and styles. Get some, Giants blue, including carbon fiber and burnt titanium. I like the burnt titanium the most. That's the one that I use. The wallet has over 50,000 5-star reviews. The durable material means each wallet comes with a lifetime warranty. The Ridge team is so confident that you'll like it that they'll let you test drive it for 45 days. You can send it back for a full refund if you don't love it. So it's not like a trade in the NFL where it's like, like you can return it if you don't like it. Like Kenny Galladay. If we had a test drive of Kenny Galladay, maybe he wouldn't be a Giant. Check out the link in the description and use code JOHNBOY for 10% off. Again, check out the link in the description and use code JOHNBOY for 10% off. All right. This play on Daniel Jones is frustrating. Really, really frustrating. This is a third down. This is towards the end of the game. This is the fourth quarter. And you get a first down. It's 3rd and 7. You get a first down to Chris Myrick. Okay, right? That's awesome. That's awesome. But on these plays, what have the Giants ran? They've run these curl routes. So they build off of it. Watch Slayton. Great job. Like he's gonna hit the brakes right here. This is where you would do it. The curl. Get into a double move. Gets into his blind spot. He's still looking at the quarterback. And just totally beats this guy. Now, there's times where guys are open and they're not part of the progression and people do screenshots and like, he should have thrown this. This is not one of those times. We'll see. And again, you don't run double moves to not throw them. Again, you do not run this double move to not make it the main objective on this play. And DJ is full eyes on him. He's got time. Like this is where you pull the trigger. You should be pulling the trigger right now. This corner is facing the QB. Slayton's is going to burn him. You pull this trigger right now. Right now is enough time. But even now, you still got time, and he's clearly won. Pull the trigger. Pull the trigger. Okay, he is 25 yards down the field. Okay, so this is not an arm strength thing. And he checks it down to Myrick. And again, Myrick has to break a tackle to get this first down. You have to pull the trigger, okay? And on a Giants team that has a slim margin for error, does not create a lot of big plays. And I want them to get more vertical, okay? So I don't want like the only time that is there for it to be missed and not come back to it. Like I want the Giants to come back to this stuff. But you have to pull the trigger. We need that out of Daniel Jones. This type of stuff like gives the coaching staff credence to be like, okay, we're not going to put a lot of vertical stuff in the playbook. A lot of shot stuff. You have to pull that trigger. I mean, look at his eyes are on it. His eyes are on it, and he checks down. Now, the good thing is Chris Myrick cannot and will not be stopped. He is the greatest of all time. Good play by Chris Myrick, though, on a real note. That's frustrating, though, man. That kills it. That's very frustrating. This was my biggest gripe with Mike Kafka. And maybe this is a player screw-up. This little counter toss. I don't know. Again, It's not like the Seahawks didn't show on film that they're not going to chase. We've got 3 guys pulling across the line of scrimmage, which means Irvin's going to be unblocked. I mean, it's one thing to give like a little like one and then pop out here and the toss is out here. That's one thing. But to flat out just do the toss like this, like even if he catches this, like he's so far behind. This is a long play, like a long developing play. This is an 8-yard loss. Like Irvin just get upfield, which they had done all game. We talked about it on the bootleg stuff. He just lays out DJ. DJ ends up tackling Saquon. Maybe the idea is to have DJ like block the backside. I don't know what it is. But that's frustrating. Now, part of me is like, okay, what is this? Maybe there's other things. So the only other explanation for this is that Glowinski should block this because he has his backside, and then Tyree Phillips blocks this. But I don't think both those guys screwed up. This is just, that's bad design. That's my biggest. This is my big issue with Mike Kafka in this game. Like this game, that's. I don't like that. And I know it's like one of those things, if it works, it's great. If it doesn't, but I just scrap that. Take it out of the playbook. All right, back on defense. This is the Tyler Lockett touchdown. Giants are in a cover 3 man match. So they're in the man match because they're running cover 3. This is cover 3 coverage. Even though like the safety comes down and turns this into man over the top. You have a 4-man rush. Or it could be cover 1 robber. But those are 2 very similar things. Like this very much could be, but I don't see Jalen screaming down on this to show that it's 100% man coverage. But nonetheless, it turns into man coverage, so why even argue about this? So, Adoree Jackson bites on this one. Geno does pump him. And Tyler Lockett shows the curl. Like Adoree's thinking, I got it. Interception, game-changing play for me. And that's what the route combination looks like. It looks like a curl slot fade. Which that's what it looks like. And Lockett just hits him with this double move. And that's a touchdown. It's the first time the man coverage stuff has gotten them in trouble. And you see Geno even does pump into this. You don't really see a lot of pump fakes in the NFL from the pocket anymore. You see just that little pump. Gets Adoree the jump. And Lockett revenges his drop touchdown. So can't be too mad at Adoree. He's been a huge player on the defense, but that play hurt. Last play for the offense. 3rd and 9. The result of this play, I don't really care about. It's just the play design I want to show you. Actually, the result. This is a 3rd and 9. This doesn't matter actually. What am I talking about? I like this though. So we talked about them running those curl routes and building off what they put on film. That's my favorite thing that Mike Kafka does. But they turn these into conversion routes. So, because the Seahawks know that they like to run these curl routes, what do? They get into cover 2 man. So you have the safeties over the top, and then you put the corners in trail technique so that if they curl, like Marcus Johnson does, you're underneath it. It's over. But I just like this from, Slayton sees this. He can't curl on this. So just turn it into a go. A nice conversion route. Now, Daniel Jones isn't, I'm not saying Daniel Jones needs to throw this. But I just like that on the film. And this is the play where we'll see it from the other angle. And this was a smart decision for Daniel Jones to run. I kind of can't believe Shelby Harris caught him. And I think DJ can't believe it either. I mean, we're here. And like DJ is fast, and I guess Shelby Harris is an NFL defensive lineman, but I think he clearly thought like he was just gonna do like that little sidestep thing, and maybe DJ should push this out a little more. But you could tell he's like he thought he had it, and I thought he had it too. And this is the game ender. We got 3 tight ends to the right. We got all this lined up. We got a stack box. Kenneth Walker likes the bounce plays. This play's dead. Tay Crowder here. Leonard Williams wins his block. We got Jihad War on the backside. Kenneth Walker is able to stop, cut, beat out Tay Crowder. Jihad Ward's not able to get there. Break the tackle of McKinney. Probably going for like some type of strip sack at this point of the game. And DK Metcalf even like runs a route, pretends he caught a fade on this to occupy Adoree Jackson. Seahawks go up 14 and win. So Giants are 6-2 at the bye. Didn't make any moves at the trade deadline, so they're rolling with what they got. So hopefully we get some more winning film reviews going forward. The next couple of games should be on those Texans and Lions. So appreciate you guys. Like and subscribe to the channel. And we will see you in a couple of weeks. Mid-season mock draft video next week. And the Giants are picking like 26, which is that's pretty cool. All right, appreciate you guys. See you on the next one. Let's go Big Blue.